Hey everyone, this is Attackers. It's that time of year again and I'm excited to bring you my updated top 50 solo board games for 2025. As always, I'm only ranking games I've played enough to feel confident about their placement. So if a game you love isn't on the list, it might simply be because I haven't played it yet, haven't played it enough, or I preferred multiplayer rather than solo. Of course, this is just my personal ranking. Your list will almost certainly look different, and that's perfectly fine. Instead of debating which games should be where, let's just enjoy celebrating all the great solo experiences out there. So please share your own favorite solo games in the comments. You might help me discover my next top pick. On screen, you'll also see a few honorable mentions, games that I still need to explore further. This video took a lot of work to put together, so if you enjoy it, I'd really appreciate a like, a comment or a subscription. It helps the channel more than you might think. Alright, let's dive right into the list. Cascadia is a wonderful family-weight tile-laying game that's cozy, puzzly and endlessly replayable. The solo challenges in particular add a lot of fun and variety. It's exactly the kind of game I can pull out for a relaxing evening or a calm break after a stressful day. I doubt I'll ever remove this one from my collection. Apiary was a big surprise for me. It looks like a heavy worker placement game, and it kind of is, but it's accessible, smooth and incredibly satisfying to play. The solo mode works beautifully, as most Stonemaier games tend to do, and even after just a few plays, I can tell this will stick around in my collection for a long time. Forest Shuffle is one of my favorite tableau builders, and I actually prefer the original version over the newer edition that came out this year. The official solo mode, added recently, is tough, but excellent. You need to reach a point threshold and meet a specific objective, which makes the game very replayable. Yes, luck can play a role, but exploring different strategies is always rewarding. Orléans is one of those classics I can't believe I didn't try earlier. It's elegant, smart and deeply satisfying. While I prefer it multiplayer, the solo and cooperative modes are also very well done. The only reason it isn't higher on this list is because I tend to reach for other games when playing solo. But Orléans is unquestionably fantastic and everyone should try it at least once. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition is essentially the version of Terraforming Mars I always wanted. I like the original game, but it always felt a bit bloated and uneven. Ares Expedition fixes many of these issues while offering smoother gameplay and a much better solo experience, all in a smaller box. This is the Terraforming Mars I'll happily keep playing. Trekking Through History is a game I'm always conflicted about. Not because it's bad, but because I don't play it much with others. But every time I play it solo, I'm reminded of how much fun it is. It's simple, satisfying and has a great theme. Building a tableau while gathering the right resources always feels rewarding, a perfect light solo experience. At the Gates of Loyang is a crunchy economic puzzle that I got to know this year, and it immediately fascinated me. I've only played it solo so far, but that mode works extremely well. It's not a game I bring to the table often because it demands a lot of brain power, but each play is a deeply satisfying experience. I definitely want to explore it more next year. Mycelia is a charming intro-level deck builder that I absolutely adore. It's beautiful, easy to teach and perfect for when I want something relaxing rather than heavy and strategic. The solo mode is great, and although it's not the crunchiest deck builder out there, the combination of light puzzling and beautiful presentation really hits the spot for me. Meadow has been one of my favorite cozy games for a long time. The mix of relaxing atmosphere and surprisingly thinky tableau building is fantastic. The only downside is that the expansion, while great, doesn't include a solo mode, a decision I still don't understand. But the base game solo mode works well enough that I keep returning to it again and again. Stellarion is one of the best entries in the Oniverse series. The deck manipulation and set collection mechanisms are extremely clever and satisfying, and the included expansions add even more depth. Every decision feels meaningful as you hunt for the right cards at the right time. It's a brilliant little solo game that I happily recommend. Skyteam is an amazing two-player game, and yes, I'm cheating a little bit by putting it on this list. It doesn't have an official solo mode, but it does have an unofficial one which you can find on my channel, and it actually works incredibly well. I play it solo quite often, and the game shines whether cooperatively with another player or on your own. A tense, clever and wonderfully designed experience. Skoventyr features a fascinating mechanism and offers a surprising amount of player agency, considering how few components it uses. It's extremely difficult to win, but very satisfying once you grasp its rhythm of play. The theme, based on Danish folklore, is unique and atmospheric, a compact, challenging and great solo experience. Distilled is one of the most thematic games I own. The process of distilling alcohol is integrated beautifully into the mechanisms, and everything feels thoughtful and polished. Gameplay is smooth, strategic, and rewarding. I've also played the cocktail expansion this year, which adds even more variety and depth. A fantastic game that I'm really glad I backed. R.A.V.E.L is another standout from Impatience Games. I've covered almost all of their games on my channel, and this one easily ranks among their best. It's a clever, compact dice manipulation puzzle that offers far more depth than its small box suggests. Smart, tight, and extremely fun to play. Hexplore It does a wonderful job of capturing the feel of traveling through a large role-playing world. You grow stronger through battles, quests, and exploration, and the sheer variety of characters makes every playthrough unique. Yes, it can be a bit hard to get back into it after long breaks, but once I'm immersed again, the experience is great. Onirim was my first Oniverse game, and it remains one of my absolute favorites. Some people dislike the frequent shuffling, but I don't mind it at all. The design is elegant, tense, and endlessly replayable. It's an essential title for anyone interested in solo gaming, and if the shuffling really bothers you, the mobile app is excellent as well. Marvel United is a game I haven't played a ton yet, but it already impressed me with its replayability, especially if you have a lot of content. The combinations of heroes and villains make each session feel fresh. My favorite part though is the mechanism where you can use the previous player's actions along with your own. It works great solo and adds a cool layer of tactical planning. Endangered might be one of my favorite games from a thematic standpoint. Saving threatened species, each with unique behaviors and breeding patterns, make every scenario feel different. You really have to adjust your strategy depending on the animal you're trying to protect. A wonderfully thematic and engaging solo experience. Creature Caravan is one of the latest games by my favorite designer Ryan Lockett, and I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful tableau and engine builder with a light dice placement mechanism. You build your caravan, travel across the map, and optimize your scoring while still keeping things relaxed and enjoyable. It's one of my favorite discoveries of the past few years, and it shines especially well solo. Nusfjord was recommended to me many times, and I finally got it this year, and I really like it. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of its strategic depth, but every time I play it, I discover something new. I'm sure it will only grow on me as I spend more time with it. Dungeons of Doria quickly became one of my favorite dungeon crawlers. The art style and presentation might seem simple at first glance, but the gameplay absolutely delivers. You get tons of loot, an excellent market system, a great initiative mechanism, and campaigns of just the right length. You can also play single scenarios if you prefer, which is amazing. I'm really glad I have the newest expansion as well. Cthulhu Death May Die is another one of my favorite dungeon crawlers, even though it's not a traditional one. There's little progression, no campaign, and not much loot, but the gameplay is pure fun. Surviving long enough to complete your scenario objective while keeping the monsters at bay is always exciting. It doesn't hit the table often, but when it does, it's a blast. A Wild Venture is a new addition to my collection and it blew me away. It's a clever tableau and engine builder, but with a twist. You also have to deconstruct your engine as your cards get used up. The components, artwork and insert are excellent, and it even has an official solo mode you can download. Disclaimer, I haven't beaten that solo mode yet. It's tough, but the game is fantastic. Skulls of Sedlec has been on my list of favorite solo games for a long time. It was one of my first button shy titles, and it still holds up wonderfully. It's a compact but very satisfying puzzle, great solo or multiplayer, and the expansions add tons of replayability. It's always a joy to pull out for a quick 15-minute session. Warp's Edge is still one of the best bag building games I own. It used to be my #1 solo game a few years ago, but so many other amazing games have arrived since then. The main reason it has dropped is simply its difficulty. This game is hard, but it's also deeply rewarding and the challenge keeps me coming back for more. Cartographers remains one of my favorite flip and write games ever. Drawing your map to meet the scoring objectives is always satisfying, and the game offers tons of replayability. I even have pencils I use exclusively for this game because coloring everything makes it even more fun. A fantastic solo and multiplayer experience. Cyberion is one of my favorite games in the Oniverse series. The mechanisms involving tableau abilities and deck manipulation are incredibly clever. It's elegant, engaging, and full of strategic depth. And with the included expansions, the replayability goes through the roof. A phenomenal solo game. Peacemakers Horrors of War is perhaps the most unique game in my entire collection. Designed by Sami Laakso, it's full of passion and creativity. You play as a peacemaker trying to prevent two factions from engaging in war. Your role is passive, indirect, and highly strategic. It's a concept unlike anything else, and while it takes a few plays to really grasp, it's absolutely worth experiencing. Tamashii, Chronicle of Ascent is a recent addition to my collection, and I've really come to enjoy it. The Japanese-inspired cyberpunk theme is excellent, the artwork is really stylish, and the gameplay blends pattern puzzling with movement, combat, and inhabiting bodies on the map. It feels truly unique, and I think this one could become a permanent part of my collection. Galdor's Grip might be my favorite solo game to take with me when I leave the house. It's an in-hand card game that doesn't even require a table. The rules are simple and elegant, but there's surprising strategic depth. Yes, it can be quite luck-driven, but it plays in 10 to 15 minutes and always delivers a satisfying experience. I'm really looking forward to the full production version that will be coming, I hope, sometime. Keep the Heroes Out is one of my all-time favorite games. It sits a bit lower on my solo list simply because I enjoy it more multiplayer, but the solo mode is still very strong, especially when playing two-handed and controlling two monster factions. The premise is brilliant. Instead of looting a dungeon, you defend it from invading heroes. Great artwork, great components, and fantastic gameplay. I absolutely love this game. Roleplayer is a game I wish hit the table more often because every time it does, I have a wonderful time. You're building a role-playing character using clever dice placement puzzles in line with your attributes, skills, background, and alignment. The expansions elevate the experience even further. It works very well solo and multiplayer. Just avoid the full player count. A brilliant and charming design. This War of Mine is a difficult game to rank because it's emotionally heavy and not something I always want to play. Yet it's absolutely brilliant. You manage civilians trying to survive in a war-torn city, making impossible decisions about food, water, heat, scavenging, and safety. These stories feel painfully real, and the gameplay is immersive and unforgettable. Not a game for everyone, but a masterpiece in its own way. The Artemis Project has been one of my favorite dice placement games for years. The heavy player interaction makes multiplayer especially engaging, but the solo mode works surprisingly well by simulating two opponents. It's a bit more random solo, but the tension and tactical decisions still shine through. I wouldn't recommend it solely for solo play, but if you enjoy the game in general, the solo mode is very solid. Vantage is a fantastic solo experience. I'm not entirely sure I'd ever play it multiplayer, but as a solo game it really shines. You're exploring an entire planet made up of hundreds of interconnected cards, and every location offers multiple actions that let you dig deeper into the world, its mysteries, and its lore. I don't know yet how long it will stay in my collection, but right now I'm having a great time uncovering everything Jamie Stegmaier has built into this design. While Wingspan is my number one board game of all time, it's not my absolute favorite solo experience, but it's still excellent. The Artemis is challenging, especially with multiple expansions which can make building specific combos harder. Regardless, the game is elegant, beautifully themed, and endlessly replayable. It's one of the few games I can play over and over again without ever getting tired of it. Tales from the Red Dragon Inn is currently one of my favorite dungeon crawlers. Even though it's a campaign game without strong character progression, you can still play isolated scenarios because the loadouts are customizable. The characters are fun, the story is great, and the gameplay is streamlined with smart quality of life changes to the genre. A truly impressive design and a joy to play. The Last Lighthouse might be my favorite button-shy game at the moment. It's elegant, thematic, quick to set up and quick to tear down, and filled with meaningful decisions. Despite its small footprint, it offers surprising depth and tactical nuance. This is a game I'll be playing for many years to come, I'm sure. Ashes Reborn, or the newest version, Ascendancy, is an amazing dueling card game. But with the Red Rains bosses, it transforms into a fantastic solo and cooperative experience. The unique rules make gameplay exciting, and the variety of decks keep everything fresh. It's stylish, strategic, and absolutely one of my favorite solo card battlers. The Castles of Burgundy has been one of my favorite games for years, and it's still one of the most elegant designs ever made. It works beautifully in multiplayer, but the new solo mode in the special edition elevates it even further. The old solo mode was good. This one is great. A timeless classic that shines brighter than ever. It's a Wonderful World is a game I didn't immediately fall in love with, but now I can't imagine my collection without it. It's a fantastic combination of drafting, tableau building, and resource management. Yes, it can be a bit luck heavy, but the gameplay is quick, thinky, and always satisfying. The solo mode works really well, and I need to make sure it hits the table more often next year. Slay the Spire might be one of the best video game adaptations in board gaming history. It captures the essence of the digital game while remaining elegant and completely engaging at the table. It's quick to get into, but the depth is astounding. an exceptional solo game and a fantastic cooperative experience with others as well. Sleeping Gods is one of my favorite open world games. While I like Lands of Galza slightly more, the world in Sleeping Gods is much larger and incredibly rich. The rules and systems can feel a bit fiddly at times, but the experience as a whole is wonderful. It's a game you can truly immerse yourself in and get lost in its atmospheric storytelling. Reforest is one of my new favorite solo games. I discovered it this year and have already played it many times. I'm excited to get the second copy with the expansion next year. It's a deeply puzzly, thoughtful game where you build a pyramid representing a natural habitat with trees and plants and optimize each one of your moves. I'm not usually a fan of pure optimization games, but this one completely won me over. Iridia, The Path We Dare Tread might be the open world exploration game I've always been looking for. It's absolutely overproduced, but in the best possible way. The components, the storage and the production quality are all stunning. The exploration and combat are excellent, and despite the amount of content, it doesn't take up a huge amount of table space. Unlocking new things as the campaign progresses feels amazing. I'm only about halfway through the game, but if it maintains this level of quality, it could easily become one of my all-time favorites. Spirit Island is widely considered one of the best solo experiences ever made, and I completely agree. I actually enjoyed slightly more multiplayer, but even solo it's phenomenal. I have everything that exists for the game, and each combination of spirits, scenarios and adversaries makes every session feel completely fresh. A masterpiece of cooperative and solo design. Bullet is an incredible game that took me a while to fully appreciate. I'm not sure why, but now I'm completely hooked. I almost never play the competitive mode because the boss mode is easily the best way to experience the game. The replayability is tremendous, and once my all-in box arrives next year, it's going to be even more epic. A fast, clever puzzle game. Absolutely amazing. Dawn of the Zeds remains one of my top games of all time. It doesn't hit the table often, maybe once a year, but when it does, it delivers an experience no other game can replicate. It's tense, thematic, immersive, and constantly pushes me to think outside the box. Whether I win or lose, playing Dawn of the Zeds is always unforgettable. Lands of Galza might be my favorite open world exploration game ever. It doesn't focus on progression or deep mechanisms. Instead, it offers a beautifully handcrafted world full of charming characters and engaging stories. Sami Laakso designed everything by hand, and it shows. If narrative adventures appeal to you, this game is an absolute gem. And yes, you can even find me in the game. Those who know my channel won't be surprised by this pick, but Aeon's End remains my favorite deck builder of all time and my most favorite solo game. I own every wave and every promo, and the replayability is absolutely astonishing. The game is tough, especially depending on the combination of boss, mage and market cards, but always fun. I rarely play it with more than 2 players, but it shines in both co-op and especially solo play. Once again, it easily claims the top spot on my list this year. And that wraps up my top 50 solo board games for 2025. Now it's your turn. I'd love to hear which games you enjoy playing solo. Share your favorites in the comments and feel free to chat with others about their picks as well. I always love reading your suggestions, and who knows, your recommendation might become one of my future top games. Before I end this video, I want to give a huge thanks to everyone who supports the channel. Your encouragement generally means the world to me. A special shout out to my patrons, and especially to my top supporter Thagonor. I truly appreciate your generosity. If you'd like to support what I'm doing, the best ways are simply watching, liking and commenting on my videos, support me on Patreon, and hanging out with me and my wonderful community on Discord. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again in the next video or over on my Discord server. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers.